everybody. It is day 100 of 365 Days of Remembering. Trina, right? One of the things that I wanted to talk about today was how we know what is being called forth within us. Like when I think about creating a business, there is such an immense amount of my beingness that just feels lit up from the inside out. That feels like that is the reason that I'm here. That is my biggest calling, the blueprint of my entire existence. And not because I'm doing it for all of you out there, though that's fun to share what I've come to know. It's like that feeling that you have when you want to stand on a mountain and yell what you've come to know. Yes, there is definitely that. There is also this, I think it's more than that, because I think we've evolved from a space of like just those one-offs, those quick little inspirational tidbits, you know, the hero's journey or the like, let's break the 4-minute mile and show people what's possible. Yes, there's relevance to that on many, many levels, but the true journey of a spiritually conscious being is the choice to put your feet on the ground every single day and move forward no matter what, to keep moving in that direction, to in every possible chance and opportunity say to yourself, so why am I feeling this and what is it showing me about myself? And so, for example, the fact that I told you I have that feeling about it being this like amplified pure desire within me, but then I also have this resistance that I feel, that I've sort of felt there the whole time. And so I could just say, oh, that's karma. I could just say, yeah, that's part of the journey as I'm working through that, and I do feel that. But what about just saying, I don't even know it's there? Like maybe in the trying to figure out what the resistance is, it's making the resistance more. Like I am naming it, giving it an identity and giving it space within my beingness that I don't really want it to have. So I have to get clear and clean about what I want to do with myself, what I want to tell myself, because I am in essence giving the resistance the right to breathe. Not that there's anything wrong or right in this. It is showing me something about myself. But if I don't like the end result of it, then why do I wake up every day and choose it? And this feeling that I'm sort of spinning my wheels, that I have this pull, this strong, strong pull of my soul, of my higher inner being to move forward. But then I have this other contrasting pull, and I can't show you with my hands, but it's like, imagine if both your hands were kind of pulling back towards each other. That's the energy that I feel with this. And right now, because of the energy that's in the world, that is probably somewhat of a match of that confused, sort of uncertain, sort of not knowing what to do next energy, it's being felt even more amplified for me, which, to be clear, is probably a gift, because it is showing me the level to which this can take me and how easily I can get pulled into it around this specific area. So what do I want to do about it? That really becomes the question, since it's like it doesn't exist. Like it literally, there is no resistance except the resistance that I choose to put in front of my path, in front of my feet. What I give to it is what I'm putting there. So I would like to take a few minutes and explore this a little bit more. And if you find that there's anything in your life that you feel is kind of holding you back, like it's a piece of resistance that is just there, and you actually viscerally kind of feel it, like you start to move in the direction, but you feel it kind of like an elastic band pulling you back, then maybe this is something we should do together. And if that's the case, then I invite you to subscribe to my channel, to hop on this journey with me, because that's what it's really been about for me, to talk about the day-to-day realizations I'm having, or the day-to-day rememberings I'm having as a spiritually conscious being, wanting to be as conscious and aware in every given moment. What do we do when these things find us? What do we do when we recognize that we ourselves are putting resistance on our path, and not looking for excuses, not saying, well, it came from my childhood, it came from, oh yeah, that and that and that, and I don't know, I just have beliefs that don't line up with it. Okay, but I want to be clean about this. I want to be pure. I want to know that I am an infinite being of love and light. I want to live into the infinite creatorship that is mine. I want to flow easily around any resistance that is there, in clean recognition of like, hey friend, how are you? Because obviously the resistance served me, or is still serving me. So that's what I wanted to play with just for the last little bit of this video. What is the resistance that I have created about this? How does it serve me? Because if it didn't serve me, I wouldn't keep dancing and playing with it to the level that I've been dancing and playing with it. So I'm just going to think about that. I'm going to close my eyes, and I invite you to do the same. If you have some resistance that you feel about something in your life, when you think about the resistance, and maybe it forms as a thought, mine is more seen as just sort of like this energy block, or Yeah, I feel it sort of as a block, kind of in my chest and my throat. So when I think about it, how is it serving me to have that? It's almost like a contraction, and it's almost like it's an invitation to play smaller than I am. And so why, it's counterintuitive. Why would I ever want to show up and play smaller than I am? And yet here it is. It was here yesterday. It was here the day before. It's still here today, and I'm making the video anyway. So I'm definitely moving with it, but I still feel it. So why am I playing with it? Why am I still acknowledging it and agreeing to it and creating it? How is it serving me? So I think one of the ways that it's serving me is that it is in some ways letting me off the hook. So I don't have to put myself out there, even though I'm doing these videos. I'm not fully putting myself out there, putting my messaging out there, calling forth that attention, putting myself in the spotlight, asking people to pay me money so that I can work with them and move this forward, do the mastermind classes that I want to do, set up my membership academy, do courses, do one-on-one coaching. So by seeing this resistance and identifying with it, guess what? I'm not doing any of those things. So since I think I want to do that and I'm not doing it, that doesn't make any sense, right? But yet, just stay with me here. I think what I'm sensing is that by not doing it, there is a feeling of safetyness that arises that I am almost ashamed to even have. I'm embarrassed to admit. And not only that, it's hard because it doesn't seem to really resonate with how I think I see myself, which is an interesting thing. Yet, it sort of keeps everything contained, and so that could provide some sense of control in my life. It could sort of say, I'm not going to allow, because I think I have a tendency to worry about what other people think on occasion, or to care about how I and my messages are received. So if I don't do that and I'm not looking for that, how do you do that without looking for it? Like, how do you put a business out in the world, but then not notice the feedback that's coming back and not having any attachment to it? So it could just be that. I don't know. It could be like a fear that I am tuning into to see if I can find what that fear might be. Like, is it a fear of just being so big and just having so much energy that wants to move through me and so many people that want to work with me that it almost feels like it would be overwhelming? Yes, there is a part of that. There's also a piece that I feel that is having to sort of explain myself in terms of, I'm pretty good at breaking down the steps, but one of the things that I have always felt is when I break down the steps and then I work with someone, when I push up against their resistance for them, can that be okay? And can I be okay if it's not okay with them? Like, if they're just like, I don't want to do that, I don't want to go there, I'm going to stay here. Can I let that go and be okay? And can I read people well enough to know when to sort of stretch them and when to sort of back off? So that part. Yeah, and I think there is some deep-seated thing about just a feeling of not being able to do this, like knowing that I'm so good at it and I can do it when I get out of my own way. But what if I can't get out of my own way? And what if I get out of my own way and something bigger than me brushes through me that knocks the other person off their feet and kind of irritates them, and then they take that out on me? What will all of those interactions feel like? So this was really, really helpful. And now I can see at least 5 different reasons that this resistance is actually serving me. And I can't believe I made a video about it and decided to tell the whole world. But hell, I mean, that's how we're going to do this. That's how we expand. And that's why having these moments of realization and remembering with yourself and then being really willing to sit in awareness with it is so powerful and so helpful. And so now I see my next step is I'm going to go through each one of those 5 things that I just came up with, and I am going to sit in surrender with each and every one of them if they came true. If I had the fully embodied experience of each of those things, so what? What would that mean? And on both sides of that equation, what would it mean if I fully had that experience? What would it mean if I stepped into the fear and I didn't allow myself to have that experience? What do I want in terms of that? And so I think I will do a post where I write them out and talk a little bit more of the process that I go through to make that be a possibility. And I will share that on my Facebook page if you're interested. And I invite you to do that same thing with you. This is what it's all about. It's really about sitting in the truth of ourselves, being transparent to ourselves, not being afraid to ask those questions. And I have this amped up feeling right now that really needs to be explored, that I really know that I need to dig into. And I think our tendency when we have those feelings is to avoid it. And even as spiritually conscious beings, sometimes we say things to ourselves like, well, that doesn't feel good, so I'm not going to go there. I'm going to pick thoughts that feel good. So what do? I pick thoughts that feel good and say, well, look at that. I've been doing a video for almost 100 days. Look how many videos are on my YouTube channel. And I did a Facebook post, and I've been doing this course about how to make my website good, and on and on and on. I vision it, I imagine it, I know it. So it's okay. When this thing doesn't feel good, it must mean that I'm not supposed to do that. But isn't that in essence the part of me that wants to keep me small? The part of me that those 5 things that I came up with are the things that my mind is hooking on and saying, don't you dare go through those things, because if you bust through those things, it's going to happen just the way you're afraid of, and I got to keep you safe, so don't do that. So am I going to listen to that voice? Because guess what? Every time that I meet that resistance, it's because I agreed to meet it. It's because I invited it to dance with me. And so it's not fair for me to say I don't want this block, but then continuously recreate the block, the dancing with the block, the holding the block, all my doing. So that is my work for today, to go and make peace with this block, to uncover this block, and to just see the little stream. Look at it. It finds its way around all the rocks that are in its path. So that's my work for today. Find myself flowing around this resistance incrementally. And I love Bentino's process, which I'm also going to do, Bentino Massaro, where you compare and contrast. So you take the thing, when I write out those 5 things, and when I write out the sort of shadow negative edge side of it, the lack and limitation side, and I juxtapose it against the side that knows that I'm an epic being of love and light, that I am made of energy, that I'm the creator of everything, that my inner being will line up everything I want, that I have the power that creates worlds backing me, and know that I can do it. When I compare those 2 things, it's going to be obvious. But I think I need to dig in a little deeper first. So I will update you about this in the next few days. Look for that post on Facebook if you're interested. The date today being April 9th, 2020. So if you need to go back and find it at a later point, then that's where it will be. And thank you for letting me share my process and journey. Bye.